Good morning. Happy New Year 2021. Thank God we made it through 2020, which is a huge accomplishment. As you know, we lost a ton of people in 2020. So if you have made it to 2021, that's an accomplishment. It doesn't matter what else happened the year. It's over and we're in a new year. So I thought that today I would make a vlog, like a day in my life sort of vlog, talk about 2020, talk about my plans for 2021, just bring you along with me while I take down the Christmas tree and do things. So we're starting with breakfast and I'm gonna have a bagel because I don't feel like cooking anything else. I have to do some like not fun work. First, there's an issue my brother and I have to deal with, and then I will pick you back up for some fun stuff. I mean, taking down the Christmas tree is sad, but it's funner than most work. So yeah, I'm gonna go have my bagel and I will see you in a moment. All right, so 10:20. I finished my unpleasant task for the day. It's my only day off right now for the next week. It's the only day off in a string of about 12 days of work. And my work days these days are like 10 to 12 hours long because COVID and getting ready for a vaccine clinic. As much as I really want to do nothing, I don't have that luxury because Bertha over here, my Christmas tree, she needs to go. She's like dying and the pickup for our complex is on Monday and I just don't want to have to drag her across the parking lot after working. So she's gotta go. So that is my biggest task for the day. After that, it's mostly fun things. Like I want to set up my journal. What else did I have today? Yeah, just this video, really. I want to tell you about my 2020. I want to tell you about my 2021. Get back to making videos because I've missed you guys. And so I've been planning to do this video for like the past week or so because I want to get back to it. That's my plan. So let's go down and get the Christmas buckets from the basement and start putting Bertha away. So sad. My tree's all naked. She was a good tree. Her name was Bertha. And she was my first tree in my home, my own home that I own. So I'm going to, actually, there's a number of branches on the floor from when I was taking everything down. So I think I'm just gonna take those and put them in a Ziploc for now and find some sort of ornament to stuff them in so that Bertha can always live on all of my future Christmas trees. That's my cheesy plan. I'm not gonna have you watch me try and drag this out. I might, but first I need to clean up the presents that are underneath because I just left them there. So I need to take those out and figure out how I'm going to get her out of my house. So I'm gonna shut you off for now. I'll be back. I'm not totally sure how to do this. So I got the tree in by myself, right? Because I'm single and I live alone. So I tipped it on its side outside and I put the base on and then I like lugged it in the house. But there's still water in the bottom. So I can't tip it sideways in the house to get it out. So I think what I'm gonna do is go down and unscrew it and then just lug it out. I feel like this is gonna go bad, but I figured I would turn you on so you could see what's gonna happen. See, this isn't bad. All right, I unscrewed two so that it's like loose, but still kind of upright. So we're just gonna carry it out the door. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. This works, right? It's fine. Okay, no, because if I lift it, apparently the whole thing just comes with it. There we go, that feels like it's loose. Okay, make sure I'm not taking any pieces with me. I'm not. Oh, don't fall. Okay. All right, this is fine. I can carry it out the door and then I can just drag it to the dumpster. It's fine. It's fine. I'll be back. My front door looks like I murdered a Christmas tree. Okay, Bertha is in the Christmas tree pile. It's very sad. My living room seems open and empty. Okay, so I'm gonna clean up this mess. I don't know what I'm gonna do after that, but that's what we're gonna do right now. You don't need to watch me clean. All right, it's 2 o'clock. Christmas is gone. You can see I still have lights around my window there because I forgot to take them down, and I still have like my wreath on both doors, but they're like more winter than Christmas, so it's fine. I still have to wash like all of the Christmas towels and sheets and blankets and things anyway, so they're still lingering Christmas. So I haven't done much today aside from taking down Christmas. Now I am going to, let me turn you around here. So I have a table full of journaling and YouTube, and I am going to set up my 2021 journal. This is my 2020, and this year I am moving into a bigger journal because I couldn't find the ones that I like. I've used this notebook, like this type of notebook, for the past 4 or 5 years, and I'm out of colors from them. So I've upgraded to a Leuchtturm 1913 notebook, and this is I think it's A5 size. It is nice. It's got two bookmarks, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that. So I'm gonna set up my journal. I made some stickers for myself based on things that I know that I usually like to journal, but that just take time, and it's like the time to make some of the spreads is the reason I don't journal as often as I like to. So I printed out the calendar, I printed out some of the tracking that I use, and I'm gonna kind of see what I want to do, but I figured this will make it a little faster and let me be more creative instead of doing like all the tedious lines and boxes and stuff. So this is what I'm gonna do, and we'll see. Maybe I'll show you my setup after, maybe I won't, probably I won't. But if you would like to see some of my bullet journaling setup, or journaling setup, because it's not really bullet journaling, let me know and maybe I will make that a video. So I'm just gonna catch up on YouTube and be creative. And then we will go upstairs to my library and I will share with you my goals of 2021, or plans, or I was gonna tell you about my 2020, but I'm so over it and I just don't feel like talking about it anymore. I'd rather look forward and be hopeful. So we're gonna do that. So for right now, I'm gonna be creative, and then I'll see you in my library in a little while. Hello and welcome to my library. It's only half finished. This wall looks amazing. The rest of the room, not so much. There's many stacks of more books because I overestimated or underestimated how many books fit into a wall. So yeah, my plans are changing, and I think I'm going to duplicate these shelves on this wall so I can fit the rest of my books all in the same room instead of having to like put them in different parts of the house. Once that happens, I will show you the whole room. So 2020 was a lot. It left me broken in a lot of ways, and really I'm just ignoring it. My coping mechanism right now is pretty much ignore it, and when the pandemic is over, take a month-long vacation to Italy and eat my way through Italy, and then come home and probably find a therapist and like work through everything. But in the meantime, it's survival mode, and so we're just doing. The biggest good thing in the year was that I bought a house. Well, it's a condo, but it's a house. It's my home. So that's a huge feat, and I feel so good, and it's been fun getting to settle in and stuff. And like literally, this wall is the most put together part of my home because obviously the books take precedence. So moving out of 2020 into 2021. Obviously 2021 Just because it's a new year doesn't mean that everything's new and like all of the horrors of 2020 are behind us. Like, it's still a fact that nearly 4,000 people a day are dying from COVID in the United States alone. Like, it still sucks, but there is a little bit more hope than there was 8 months ago. We have a vaccine. We have multiple vaccines. I will be getting my vaccine probably in 2 days, for sure this week, which is super exciting. Obviously, it's the first in the series of vaccines. You have to get 2 for it to be the most effective, but regardless, it's starting. I'm so excited and relieved. It's just a little bit of hope in what has been a nightmare global pandemic. So all in all, in 2020, I didn't do much besides like work and then just not work. It was not fun. I mean, to be honest, that's not going to change much in the near future. However, I am looking ahead and trying to be a little bit more optimistic about it. You know, 2020 kind of took a lot of my patience and a lot of everything, but 2021, I am going to try to inject it with some hope in the beginning here and some excitement, and not excitement because it's not very exciting, but I'm trying to inject it with a little bit of quiet fun because there's not much else to do. There's too much heaviness all the way around, and that's not going away soon. So all of my plans for 2021 right now are focused on fun. In fact, I even wrote on my like brainstorming list, nothing serious, set fun goals. But first, this last look back at 2020, I thought I would share my favorite books in 2020. So again, I didn't do much. I didn't read much in 2020. I read 43 books, which isn't bad. Like, it's a decent number. Most of those were cheesy, steamy, spicy romance novels because they're cheap, they're easy to download, and just like lay in bed scrolling. They're entertaining. I don't go for any that have like drama and seriousness, so it's just a nice escape, which is what I've needed a lot this year. For me, most of those don't come to like, oh my gosh, that's a favorite book. They're just solid entertainment. So none of those are on this list. So I have 4 books sitting in front of me that I want to share with you as books that I enjoyed this year. These aren't in any particular order. So this one is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Obviously this book has been talked about everywhere and the sequel is out. Haven't read it because the end of the year was but this came out the beginning of the year, towards the beginning-ish of quarantine. It came out in like May and I devoured it. I really liked this book. I actually read this book twice in 2020. Once when it first came out and then once again right before the second book came out, so I could like refresh myself before going back into it, and then I just haven't read the second one. But I'm gonna get to it soon because the third one comes out in April. So I'm kind of like, I want to wait a little while so it's close together because she has a habit of hanging us off a cliff at the end of her books. And this one, like, I can live with the cliffhanger in this one, and I'm afraid that I won't be able to in the second one and we'll have to wait months. So I'm kind of like, I'll wait. It's super escapist. There is definitely some drama to it. Definitely like this whole mystery thing. There is some steam. Like, it's probably more new adult. This book is about Poppy, who has been raised her entire life to be the maiden. She's not allowed to be seen without a veil on. Even when she is seen, she's not allowed to talk or be spoken to. She is like revered. She's supposed to be like the gift to the gods. On her 19th birthday, she will ascend, but nobody really knows what that means, and she doesn't know what that means, so she's kind of terrified. There's a love interest in the form of Hawk, and things happen, and there is blood and gore and romance, and just there's so much in this book. There's so much. It's a chunker too. Like, it's 600 pages or something, is setting up like the whole series and all of its mythology and stuff. So it does get slow at some points, but I didn't find it to be a problem. Like, it wasn't like a super slow entire book. It was slow times as it was building up to things, but there is definitely a lot of action and a lot of intrigue and things happening. Pretty sure I gave it 5 stars. What's a rating? What are we doing? What's life? It's not 2020 anymore. Hooray. The next book I have to show you is One Woman Can Change the World by Ronnie Rock. This book I have been highly anticipating for a few years, ever since she said she was writing a book. Ronnie is a person that I know in real life. She's somebody I met online and then met for the first time on a trip to India. We met in India for the first time in real life. I've since also gone to Ukraine with her. She is just such a sweet, fun person with a big heart. And so this book is stories of some of the women she's met along the way. Women who are changing the world right where they are. Women who see a need in their own hometown and just start doing what they can to help it, and things grow from there. Ronnie has such a way with words and capturing the story of someone's life, taking that out and sharing it with the world. And this is that book that does that. It's so beautiful. There are so many women in here that are such an inspiration. Ronnie takes these different women doing different things all around the world and ties them together into one cohesive, inspirational journey. And it's just beautiful. The next book I want to share with you is Buy Yourself the Effin' Lilies by Tara Schuster. This is a nonfiction book that I absolutely loved. It's about Tara going through a change in her life. It follows from when she realizes that getting so blackout drunk she doesn't remember making multiple calls to her therapist that lands her therapist to be extremely fearful for her well-being. I forget how I started that sentence, but she goes from that to reinventing herself and kind of figuring out who she is, dealing with her problems, and learning how to be a more happy, healthy person. And so it's just filled with little ways of self-care that are not your traditional self-care. Things like build a morning routine that makes you feel like an Egyptian goddess. You know, light incense or a candle, do a face mask. It was just a really good book. If you are interested in self-care, this is a book to check out. As you can tell from the title, it is an irreverent look at self-care. And the tagline is, and other rituals to fix your life. It's really about creating a life with these little rituals and things that just set you up for success and help you create a life that you enjoy living. Finally, the last book I'm going to share with you, you had to know it was coming. Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Of course I read this. Of course I loved it. Is it problematic? Yeah. Is it the world's best writing? No. Do I still love it? Uh-huh. It gives me all the original Twilight vibes, like back in the early 2000s when it all first came out and it was just like ensconced in this dark and rainy world. It brought me all right back there. And I loved getting Edward's perspective on everything, getting to hear his thoughts on all the situations that were happening, getting to see more of his family life, getting to hear more of his history, his family's history. I loved all of that. I did film a reading vlog of my couple of weeks reading it, just never actually finished it or edited it or uploaded it. So I should get to that some point in time. In the meantime, I loved this. Again, not the greatest book in the world, but it's escapist. Again, that escapism is what I need these days, and this provided that. So I am going to shut you off because I see the little icon on my camera saying that you're about to overheat. I don't want you to do that. So I'm gonna shut you off. I might go take a bubble bath, and then after I will tell you about my plans for 2021. So I'll see you in a bit. It's several hours later. Different gray nerdy shirt. I took a nice bubble bath and then ate dinner. Just kind of chilled out watching some Gordon Ramsay. Now I'm getting ready to go to bed, but I wanted to finish this vlog. And I promised you some 2021 goals, which I'm really calling more challenges. 2020 was just heavy and I can't do heavy. Thought about doing a word for the year and I thought of the word recovery. However, this pandemic's not over. And given the multitude of opinions and behaviors in my country, I don't know how long this pandemic's gonna go on for. So I can't begin to recover from a trauma that is still happening. So I'm going to save that for whenever this is over. So I'm not setting a word, I'm not setting a goal, but I am setting some challenges for myself. And these challenges are not serious, there's no consequences, and they're things that if I do them, they're going to make me feel happy and feel rested and feel inspired and all of the good things that I want to feel. So while I am still allowed to completely numb out with TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, these 4 things will be a little break and also a different form of escapism to just make 2021 a little bit better than its predecessor, regardless of what else is happening. So my 4 areas that I want to focus on are reading, writing, crochet, and the 4th one that I just added today, cooking. So reading, obviously, I am going to partake in 2 different reading challenges. The first is Buzzwordathon from Books and Lala. I'll leave the links down below. And on Facebook, what's it called? HPO OTP, Flourish and Blotts. They had to change their name for legal reasons. They do a reading challenge every year, and I've followed it for the last year and a half and never actually partook in it. So this year I want to. This year's theme is inspired by the books, I think is what they're calling it. Basically, there's a bunch of prompts for each book in the Harry Potter series, taken from like quotes and different things. So like for the first book, one of the prompts is there's no post on Sundays. Read a book with a letter. So just some fun things. I ordered some stickers off of Etsy that were created for the challenge. So those should be coming, I don't know how long it takes. I think it's at a week or two, and I plan to use those in my journal to help keep track. So I feel like that's just fun. Like I can still read whatever the heck I want, but it will kind of give a little direction and just a little more challenge. Checking something off the list always makes me feel good. So writing is on there because maybe 2 weeks ago, Susan Dennard posted on her Instagram a challenge that she was starting called A Story a Month, I think is the name of it. Basically, you sign up on her website. Again, I'll leave the links down below. On the first of every month, she's going to send an email with prompts to make you write a story. I got the email. I didn't read all the way through it because I was doing all this stuff today. From my quick glance, there's like a word prompt, like a descriptive word. There's a photo prompt and a music prompt. So however you get inspired, like there's a way in the email. Ooh, sorry. It can be any length story you want it to be. It could be like a flash fiction, like 1,000-word thing. You could do a whole novel based on it. You do you. But I like writing and I just don't do it ever. So I think having this challenge is a good one, and it's a whole lot less intimidating than like NaNoWriMo, which I want to do this year, but we'll see. Hopefully this November is not anything like this past November. We'll see. That's really far in the future. I just think it sounds like fun. Like 1,000 words in a month. I can do that. Third category, crochet. I've gotten really into crochet this year. I don't do it as often as I should, but every time I pick it up, I'm like, why haven't I been doing this lately? My challenge for crochet is to crochet one thing a month. Again, not too hard. And this will be amended slightly if I'm working on something like a blanket. I don't have to finish an entire blanket in a month. That is a little too challenging for what I want right now. I love making amigurumi or like plushies and things. So those I can usually do in a couple hours. So I figure one a month is an easy goal for me. I'm just looking forward to that. And crochet is something that's like, it's easy, but it's kind of challenging. But at the same time, if you have the right pattern, you can kind of just zone out and not totally pay attention to what your hands are doing. And so it's a perfect thing to do while you're like binge watching a show. And then you feel like you've accomplished not only finishing a TV show, but also a project. And so it's like two great things. And then my fourth challenge that I just decided to do today, that I'm still a little nervous about making an actual challenge, but I think it'll also be good, is cooking. Since having my own space and my own home and my own kitchen, I have enjoyed cooking. Not that I do it very often because it's a lot of work. This challenge is definitely going to be like most energy consuming of them. For some reason, cooking just seems more than these other ones, but when I'm doing it, I enjoy it, and I certainly enjoy the product of the food that I get to eat. A couple months ago, the same time I bought actually Crochet Cafe about like food amigurumi, I bought the cookbook Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and I started watching the Netflix show and never finished it. I had had a thought of like trying to cook through that cookbook, but that just sounds like a really big goal, and that's not what I'm after. So I think what I'm gonna do, again, keeping with like the one a month theme, cooking one dish, either from that cookbook, inspired by the cookbook, or from anywhere else, but cooking like one big dish a month. Again, it's doable. For some reason, it seems like the most challenging one of these 4 challenges, but I know that it's something that feeds my body, but it also feeds my soul. I'm looking forward to these 4 challenges. They're things that are creative, that get me using my hands in a different way, get me out of my head in a different way, and can still be escapist, but actually productive. I guess not productive, escapist in a way that is good for me versus the escapism of scrolling on my phone, which is really why I'm doing it. Like, pandemic is just heavy. It's just a lot, and you know, shoving everything down is not the best coping mechanism, but it's what we're doing, and so finding some ways to let some energy out in different ways is always a good thing. I thought about setting a goal for BookTube, but I do that like every year, and then every year I fail. So I really do want to get back to making videos because I do miss it. I enjoy making videos and talking with you guys and all of that. So it's something I want to do, but it's not something I feel like focused focusing on as a goal. So I'm just gonna do it, you know, as often as I can. Who knows how often that'll be? Maybe once a month, maybe once a week. We'll see. We're just gonna roll with it because again, we're setting fun goals this year, challenges, not serious things. No dieting here, no weight loss goals, no miles to run, no page read number of books, any of that. We're not doing those kinds of serious goals. We're not putting numbers on anything. We're just having fun and being creative and surviving so that eventually we can get to the recovering. That is the plan. So that's what I have for you. It's been nice talking to you guys today. I haven't done this in a while and I've enjoyed it quite a bit. So I hope that I can continue to do this. I also hope that I actually edit this and upload it this weekend so it doesn't just live on my camera like the Midnight Sun vlog. I'm gonna go to bed now because I need to be at work in the morning to do some COVID testing, and then we have our vaccine clinic the next day, so I'm very excited. So I'm hoping that I will find time to edit this and upload it in the midst of all of the work this weekend. I feel like I've just rambled a lot in this video, but I'm really excited to kind of be back, and I'm hoping 2021 is brighter than 2020 was. So I'm gonna stop rambling and just end this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching if you've watched this far. I hope you've enjoyed this little vlog. Let me know down in the comments what your goals, resolutions, or challenges for 2021 are. Let me know your favorite book of 2020 because I would love to hear. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, however long today is. We made it through 2020, and here's to a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. A little Disney reference for you. Have a good night, and I will hopefully see you guys again soon. Bye.